All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Charles. Unfortunately, Charles had to produce some wins, so now I have to tell you about it, which really sucks. I fucking hate this part. But if you want to learn about how he 40x'd his income and fixed his marriage, not fixed, I don't know how bad it was. We'll talk about it. I say like it's a big
We'll talk
dramatic
about
thing. And basically made things go really well and win really hard and got to start living in a place that he likes and that sort of thing. Basically, all the things you probably want, your life to go better and to have all the things that you want and have your income go up dramatically. Stay tuned. So we're going to be talking about some things. Is there anything you'd like to say first before I ask any questions?
Yeah, really like where this started for me was I just saw a post of yours that I really loved. And um the thing about it was that I was in like the worst place in my entire life when I first came across you. Like my business had just collapsed and all that, and like I had just moved my wife and my son in with my family, and like I was just at an all-time low. And I just you stood out to me, and I was like, I know this is the guy that I need to work with, who can help me get out of this hell that I'm in. And I mean, yeah, like that was where it really like started for me. So I'll say that, like, for everyone listening, I went into conversation with John from the absolute worst place that an entrepreneur ever wants to be, with the total collapse, the total failure. And like I was super excited to like have this conversation with John, just because I do believe that this is going to help everyone that is in that. Maybe it's just a mindset place of just being in absolute hell, but like John literally took me from hell to heaven in this entire journey, and it's totally changed my life. So I'm excited to dive in.
This was pretty good, man.
And he did not pay me to say that. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
want everyone to know, like, this has really changed my life.
that's pretty freaking sick. Is there anything else you'd like to? By the way, there's no set way we do this. So, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah. I mean, I think that if there's anyone that's on the fence about working with John, just do it. He changed my life. He can absolutely change yours as well, and he'll show you that you have everything that it takes.
That is
So
true. You
do
do
it.
have everything it takes. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'm good.
All right, cool, sweet. Um, I want to let's go. Give you an introduction to everybody. What do you do? What do you sell? How does it help people? What's your sort of like goals? That sort of thing.
Yeah. I will say, before like getting into that, I've done a lot of different things that I've sold a lot of different things. I was a business owner. I was running a porn recovery coaching. I've done business coaching, ops consulting. I've done a lot of different things. The thing that really uh lit me up was getting to help people. So I've been able to help people like get free from addictions. I've been able to help people with saving their marriages. I've been able to help people with like overcoming like suicidal thoughts and depression, and helping them like really jumpstart their careers or their businesses or whatever. But like it always seemed like I was able to help them do things that I wasn't able to do for myself. And it didn't feel like that was a very aligned place to live or work from. And so because I was able to help others get a couple things figured out, I thought that I had it all figured out, but I didn't, and everything collapsed. And so I got in contact with a guy that does tutoring. So he helps families to to get their SAT and ACT scores up so that their students can secure scholarships to go to college debt
Mm-hmm.
free. And so I help him close deals for his offer. And that's what I'm actively doing. I've been doing this for over a year now. And it's something that I was absolutely horrible at in the very beginning. Like I was still in the middle of my life collapsing, and I was learning to rebuild. Um, and
What were
so
the challenges you had on sales calls? like that got in
Yeah,
the
like,
way?
I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I did, but I didn't. I knew the standard sales process that everybody teaches. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? What's in the way? And it wasn't enough because the scripts and the word tracks and memorizing things, I knew the right things to say, but every call was ending with, I'm going to think about it, and hey, this is how we make decisions. I was getting all the classic stuff, and I just couldn't figure out why that was the case. And
Mm.
the thing that was terrible about it was that I was in such a bad place mentally that I was willing to go in and fight to the bloody end, all the way until people just like hung up on me, or like there was just nothing left to recover from. And it was call after call after call. Like I had done maybe 50 plus calls where it was absolutely zero. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able to pay the bills with it, but I knew if I keep pushing through, something will change. But you and I had also just started working together at that point. So there was a couple
Mhm.
of dynamics going on. I was working on like a yacht management company at the time.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to build that from the ground up. I was also doing Uber and Lyft to pay the bills and just pay down debts. And I was doing the whole like, which bill do I pay this month or that month, while making sure
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was horrible. And so I was doing that while I was trying to close at the same time. And really, what ended up happening, just fast forwarding a bit, was that um, I finally started making enough in the closing that I was able to quit the yacht management company. It wasn't going well anyways. I quit Uber and Lyft, and I was able to just really hone in on closing. Uh, but like I was getting all those crap answers that you don't want to hear on your sales calls, and it wasn't until I really dove in to understand the other person that I was able to like start to make some adjustments in myself, where I wasn't going into it expecting a fight. I wasn't going into it expecting, that they want to say no. Like, it's so crazy how so much of what needed to change was just my mindset and what was inside of the way that I was thinking about other people, the way I thought about sales, the way I thought about
Well, what
money.
specifically were you thinking about sales? What were the mental blocks? Like, what were the exact things that were
So
happening that got in the way?
I was viewing it as if like as if people don't like me, people don't like sales, they don't like salesmen.
Hmm.
Um,
Only the
uh,
men, though, right?
they think
Only
that, yeah,
salesmen.
the classic. They think every salesman is going to scam them and rip them off. And I thought that that was how people were viewing me. So I was being like I was overcompensating for the way that I was showing up. I was trying not to hurt any feelings. But then when I got to think about it, it's all right, cool. What's going on here? Just tell me the truth. And just really like, it was a very, you know, it was,
Dramatic shift. Like,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
big
like
time.
because for the prospect, it's almost painful to go from really soft guy to now he's getting angry at me. Oh, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, and like I didn't know what I was doing, but I know that doing nothing was not gonna work as well as doing something. But at the end of the day, like I was causing more harm than I was helping.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so like I had to recognize how so much of what was going on was I was afraid that if they don't close, then it's not going to pay my bills.
Hmm.
If they say no, then they're just going to go to a competitor and do the same thing, and they're going to stay stuck. And like there's a lot of these false consequences that are all emotionally based, that they don't actually motivate me because they're not based in like objective reality. It's all based
Like
in
what?
like the whole, if they don't close, they're not going to pay my bills. So now I have to be all emotional and I have to force myself to go fight them. Like it
Yeah, yeah. Like
was
that
very
doesn't really make it
emotional.
much sense. That's like gonna keep you away from the money.
Yeah, yeah, and like
Yeah.
that was what a lot of what was wrong. I'll say with my mindset was that I had emotional based reasoning, and so
Yeah, all screwy, right?
it was
Yeah, yeah.
horrible. And like
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
just a couple of the examples. Like the other example I just gave of, if they don't close, then they're gonna be stuck in their problem, or they're just gonna go to a competitor, and it's supposed to get me emotionally fired up. But the problem was that I was being way too emotional on calls, and
Hmm.
people think that the right way then is to go and be stoic and just lifeless on calls.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
remember
like,
that happening too.
yeah, and like that was initially where I was able to like learn how to just like hold my ground as an oak tree, but I wasn't able to burst through to the next level where I could really do just closing until I had gotten past like the apathy levels.
Yeah,
And
yeah, where you're like being all neutral and unfeeling, and yeah, because that's like what a dead body does. You know, when you poke it, it doesn't have a reaction, right?
yeah,
So you don't care if they buy or not. Also, before you continue, I do want to like it's actually true. Yeah, if somebody doesn't go and buy from you, they will buy from someone else because they still have the problem. The problem doesn't go away, right? So I don't think that's wrong. What did you mean? Where did the? How is that? I guess how was that negatively affecting you?
yeah. So it's that it was all emotionally based reasoning, meaning like it was the same words, but the meaning that was applied to the words was
What is the
that
meaning?
the meaning that I applied personally was that if I don't do everything that I possibly can, then I'm going to like I'm gonna suffer because of it, or they're gonna suffer because of it, and so I should be moved by the suffering to take action rather than like what I needed was to see that there's logical truths that I feel very good about, that when I can help bring someone to see the light using
Hmm.
logical truths, then there's no reason to use suffering as as the thing that like forces me to
Yeah,
like
like trying to avoid
force
it.
it
You could
through.
just go close a deal. You know, and why is it doesn't
Exactly,
have to
and
be
that
like
was
so
one of the biggest
dramatic.
things that you had said that really transformed the game for me was there's logical truths that when you can show someone the logical truth, it becomes impossible for them to not move forward. And suddenly I went from having hundreds of thousands of objections and not closing anybody to then I redesigned my entire sales process so that it was built to help people understand every single reason why logically buying is the only option.
Yeah,
And
that's
when I
the
did
best
that,
way. Yeah,
yeah, I got no
exactly.
objections. The only ones
Yeah,
that I did get were where they just didn't have the money and they were lying about that.
yeah.
But
You're
it's
clearing
very
up their emotions because when you bring in the logic, it's kind of like what you're describing when yourself is when you bring in the logic, then it kind of alleviates that emotional pressure that's on you all the time. Because then you're
yeah.
like, oh, I didn't think I well, you weren't being yourself basically, right? Because you can think logically, right? You can solve problems.
Yeah, and so really like where I contrast this with the previous style of like, well, if they don't close, then they're gonna suffer and you're gonna suffer. The difference was that I never needed to touch those conversations and I never needed to use those thought processes, even though they
Like the
may be agreeing
previous
consent.
stuff you were using, you're
Yeah,
saying you threw it away.
yeah. It was just
Okay, got it.
I don't need to worry about suffering as part of the equation. It's just that I focused on here's the logical truths, and when I show it to them, everybody's happy. And what I found
Yeah.
was calls started leaving saying, "When's our next therapy session?" And it's kind of funny, but like some of like the girl students, they were like, "Are you gonna be my tutor?"
Yeah, I
No.
know, right? Yeah. That
But like
happens, yeah.
people just started feeling connected, and like that for me was the thing that really stood out, was that they were leaving and they were grateful for the sales call, and it was no longer a sleazy salesman. It was the transformation for the entire fulfillment process started with me. It started the
Yeah.
second that they hopped on the phone with me, and now what I find is this is something that fills me up. It is something that I'm excited to hop on the phone and help people take responsibility for their futures, because if they don't make the change on the sales call, it's
Mhm.
very tough for them to do it in the fulfillment process. And I found that to be true when my offer owner, he'll come to me and he'll say, "Yeah, every single student, when we do our first one-on-one, they say, 'Yeah, this thing Charles was talking with me about, it really made me think.'" And like that's the thing that like that lights me up, and that was how I knew that I was doing something right. And I 100,000% accredit that to the mindset that I've gained through everything that you've taught me. Where if I just look at the logical truths, suddenly all the emotional garbage and the emotional junk of the world, it just started falling off of me left and right. And I found this version of myself beneath the surface that I had forgotten was there, beneath all the shame, the defeat, the self doubt, I failed as a father, I failed as a husband, I failed as a business owner. Like I was just you helped equip me with the tools to dig myself out of hell and help bring heaven to earth. And like it was something that every single day I felt like I was in a movie. I got to watch my entire life transform before my very eyes. And like dude, you were 100% the reason why I'm able to be here today. And really, like I'll even just I'll touch on this really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Where I'm at right now is, dude, I didn't realize it, but I'm able to make 8 to 12K a month working 30 to 40 hours per month. That's it.
Hmm.
Like I've never been happier.
That's
I've
pretty
never
cool.
been happier in my entire life.
Sign me up. I want that. That sounds good.
And I
I
get to
like
change
that, dude.
lives at the same time. So I
Yeah, and
got
it's
it all.
simple, right? Everything's simple. It's not so
Yeah.
complicated and dramatic and ups and downs. And it's not like you're fighting dragons all day. No, a little dragon was a little lizard, and
Yeah.
it wasn't ever a problem in the first place.
Yeah.
That's really good. How much time do you think you spent using the tools in the program?
I went very overboard. Actually, I'll say this for every single person in the program and who's
Hmm.
considering joining. I went in with the mindset that I'm gonna force this to work no matter what.
Yeah.
And so if John told me do an hour a day, I was doing 3 or 4 or 5 hours per
Jesus
day,
fucking Christ.
every single day.
Yeah.
Like I did not let up until something just broke. And then I would experience a massive level up financially in my sales, in my marriage. Everything moved up. And then I would go through the exact same process and I had to force it out because I mean, I found for at least like everything that I've gone through just personally, like I became very numb and very disconnected. And there's a difference between um my reality and what actual reality is. And it took a lot of work for me to like let go of the armor that I had put on and the walls that I had built up around myself, between me and my wife, between me and my family, between me and everyone that I love. I had to like really work to let go of those things because it's the exact things that were stopping me from really feeling alive and really connecting on sales calls. Um, and so much of the work was really just like letting go of the lies, letting go of false belief systems, letting go of the things that weren't serving me. But it all had to do with the things that I was believing that were not true about who I am and what the world really is and what money is and what sales is. And like
Yeah.
it was intricate on every single layer.
It's
And
always
John
really
did
complicated in the
everything.
mind,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that's the thing. It's always like you taught. It was overcomplicated inside of here. And once I
Yeah, yeah.
got this right, everything was easy.
Yeah, yeah, because if you look at it, so you just, do you want this? You
Yeah.
like it? You want to buy it? Okay, cool. I'll take your money. That's it. Why
Yep.
would it's no more complicated than that? Yeah, so that makes sense. What fucking post did you see that made you want to work with me? What was the thing that you read?
It
Or
was it was a training on how to be, do, have money.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dude, that was
absolutely.
so powerful. And it was exactly what I was studying at the time because I was trying to figure out in the middle of like I had just moved in with my parents. I had just started the
Mhm.
business. I was doing the Uber and Lyft thing, and I was trying to figure out I'm smart enough. I know that something is wrong with the way that I'm viewing money that led me up to here. And it was like the whole universe just collapsed inward on that one post. I scroll, how to be do have money training.
Mhm.
I need to work with this guy no matter what it costs. I got to figure it out. And
You did.
he helped me make that real.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. Was there anything you saw before that that you disagreed with, or that would have turned you off towards working with me, or any
You know,
objections or obstacles you saw
it's
to
actually
wanting to talk?
I didn't realize this, but I had actually come across you a couple times before and I had
Yeah,
collected a couple of lead magnets. But the thing is, I never actually like looked at them or did anything with them. And I look
yeah, they
back
all
at them
suck.
now and they're the exact tools that like you've given me today. And I'm like,
Yeah,
man, he gave me the gold if I had just paid attention. If anything, the only regret that I have is that I didn't find you sooner and I didn't use the tools that you had given out for free.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
They're actually decent. The things I give away for free are things that I would pay for, but I just don't want to fulfill on. So it's not that like for anybody who's watching, like I have a whole thing that you can go through to where your confidence will be 10 out of 10 in 3 hours. Like but nobody goes through it because they want I want it in 10 minutes. So they want to be put to sleep. They want someone to snap their fingers and say that they're confident instead of actually doing something about it, right? And they want to be put to sleep and made to run on automatic, because mastery doesn't come in 10-minute chunks.
Yeah.
I like when I'm studying, I study I do study like 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, and with a book and a dictionary.
Yeah.
It's not a series of reels, right? So people can't sit that long and go through it. I don't know how they'll survive. Literally, I don't know how they're currently surviving. It seems by chance that anybody could get anything done, working only or being only able to sit still for 10 minutes to do something, right? It's insane. And
That was
how much
another.
time? Because you were doing like
Yeah.
3 hours, right, of the tools, right? That takes a lot of
Yeah.
discipline.
Yeah. And well, I'll reframe that. Like for me, it wasn't discipline. It was like I looked at the tools as this is the only thing that's going to get me out of here and get me better. And like when I used that frame for myself, it made it as something that I don't need to force myself to do it because it was no longer a chore. For me, it was about salvation. And like, I think that maybe at the time that's what I needed. That's what was most helpful. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's not like that for everyone, but I do think that like for me it was I took joy in doing the work. I was because I left better every single time. Every single
Yeah.
session, I felt another part of my soul come to life. And like that was really part of what drove me to keep doing it was that my world got better every single time. And I don't know, maybe I'm just like confirmation biasing myself, but the results speak for themselves, and like that was part of what drove me to stick with it. So yeah, I'd say like it is what you make of it, and I chose to make it everything, so it became everything. Now I have everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
So what I mean, where you're at right now, those were all the like how do you feel you're doing now? Like if we look at those are all the challenges, right? And you can share more if you want. But like in comparison, where have you gotten to? Because like, we talked about relationship, money, sales, like what has changed in those areas and walk me through like the progression in those areas from the beginning, like a year ago to now.
I think I'll say the biggest thing that's changed is that um my relationship with my wife is better than it has ever been. Like we had already done a lot of work, but it was like there was a couple of challenges that we couldn't fix and we couldn't figure them out. Um and like I think that one of the things that maybe some people think is that the mindset is going to fix just sales. But for me, it fixed my entire life. And my relationship with my wife was one of those most important things because as an entrepreneur, like I'm on 100% commission. There is no backup. There is no boats to burn. Like those things have been gone for years.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is no fallback. This is my all or nothing. And my wife has supported me through all of this, absolutely everything. But it
Tough
didn't mean
lady.
that she agreed with everything. It didn't mean that she was excited every single day for me to be um, just doing tools nonstop, and it
Hmm.
didn't mean that she was excited for me to have
What does she think now,
day.
after all of it?
Oh, I mean, she's easy. Like, yeah, I'm really glad you did this. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it is such a world of a difference because we both seen the fruit of the work,
that's very
and
cool.
because it's benefited us so much, where we've been able to learn to love each other in ways that we didn't know um, was even possible. Like, we had a very rigid, and here's the thing: we had a very rigid religious view of things, and like, I would say that I fall more in line with the Christian faith.
Hmm.
But there was a lot of wrong beliefs that I was taught in the church that don't actually align with my real faith. And so that's important because so much of the rigidity in my marriage came from the wrong things that were taught in the church that John, like the work that you and I did together, it helped me see, oh, so this is what a deeper relationship with God looks like, and this is what a deeper relationship with my wife looks
Yeah,
like, and this is
yeah.
a deeper relationship with myself.
Because there's a lot of fear and guilt when you walk into a church. I walked into a cathedral. What was it, in Salt Lake City?
Mm,
And I literally immediately, like, state went down,
oof.
and I felt heavy with guilt. And I'm walking around. Everything's beautiful. It's gorgeous, like gold gilded, beautiful paintings. And then there's like Latin on the walls. And
Mm,
then like I'm reading it because like I have no, like, God's awesome. Like, praise Him, go to church. Everything, a lot of the stuff in the Bible is amazing, right? I don't, because I have a lot of people of different religions in my community, so I'm not here to profess, one's better than the other. That unless you want to start a religion war, Charles, we
oh,
can do that,
jeez.
right? But it's not that I had anything bad to say. I just want to clarify
Hmm.
about the church. It's just, or about Christianity. It's just that certain beliefs, it's misunderstood. Basically, there was a misunderstanding about it, and it's not that the original belief was wrong, or that what you were taught was wrong, or that what the Bible says is wrong, or that what the people in your church said was wrong, but rather, it, like, because you misunderstand something about it and you don't want to start running around sinning on accident, then you get scared. Where if you kind of fully understand what you're looking at, you define the words and you actually understand what it is that uh, God's trying to tell you through the scripture and that sort of thing, then you can then fully understand it. It doesn't have to be this gray area that some, like, a theologist doesn't need to tell you what the Bible means. You can just use a dictionary. You can actually just define the words and see exactly what it means. And if you need to go back and use a dictionary from the 1300s, or a dictionary from the zeros, or whenever would be appropriate based on whenever your Bible was written, right? Most people have the King James version. I don't like to talk about religion because obviously it's a fiery subject, but if you just look at what it actually means and you check for yourself and you take the time to actually define the words and understand what you're reading, then your fears around religion will probably go away, because you realize that maybe you weren't doing something bad, or maybe you were and you need to fix it,
You
right?
know, I'll say this because this was a fear that I had,
Hmm.
a very like deep fear uh going into working with you, but it wasn't because of you. It was because of all the other coaches that I had worked with, that
Hmm.
they didn't respect or honor my boundaries when it came to what I believe with my faith. Um and that was like the one thing that I was like, I will not change XYZ things.
Hmm.
And I was so scared that, oh boy, this is going to be another situation where I know that I need to
Hmm.
make some changes, but I don't want to talk about these specific things. And what I found in that process was that everything that I feared had nothing to do with you, and it had everything to do with me. And when you helped show me that, like, you do respect what I believe, you just also want me to make sure that I'm not screwing with myself and my own beliefs.
Yeah,
And
you're
I'm
not
not.
like minimizing yourself. Like, you raise God up, but then you make yourself tiny, but you're actually bigger and more capable than you think, right? It's not that you're just like this little speck of dirt on the ground,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And treating yourself with no self-respect, and just beating yourself up all day. It
That's a
doesn't, does it say that in the Bible to? the
I think that that's a big misunderstanding that that I had that you helped me clarify. Like most people, I believe, they treat elevating something as lowering themselves, but
yeah.
that's not how you elevate something. And so I believe that it's mutual elevation
Well,
where
you
you
just raise
bring
up
everything
God, man.
around
That's
you
what you
up.
do. You raise up God, right? Spiritual being that's in charge here, right? And you raise him up. You don't need to lower yourself, right? Because, well, if I would thinking from his perspective, I would think he'd want a bunch of strong people spreading his word, not people who are weakening themselves, right? We need strong people who are doing that.
Yeah.
Not people who beat themselves up and they're stuck in their home and they're scared to talk to people and they can't do anything out of fear of accidentally sinning. No, we need some tough Christians to go out and spread the faith. That would be the appropriate thing to do,
Yeah,
right?
and I know that like the whole like religion thing is like a touchy subject, but I can say that really what I found at the end of it of like everything that I've done work-wise with you, it's grown my faith stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me get rid of the misunderstandings that I had taken on from people that were teaching and preaching things that they should not have been teaching or preaching because they did not have the education that they thought they had. And
Right.
so it helped me clear up so much of the cage that I had built around myself religiously. And what I found really, like just deep inside, is that I'm unlimited. I am infinite. Like I can do anything that I put my mind to. I can do anything that I want to do. Um, and really, like I don't have to wait for permission. I don't have to look for approval. I don't need anyone's validation. I don't need any comparison. And like those were a lot of the things that were keeping me down. And because I had grown up in a very like strict religious like upbringing, um I had so many misunderstandings just because like that's how life was for me.
Yeah,
Was that
it's just you're told what it is, but you don't actually take the time to fully
yeah,
understand what it is means, what that means.
yes, that's
So
exactly
then
what
so
it
then
was.
you have this gray area looming over you this whole time because you don't know,
Yep,
right? And then that creates fear. Fear is the inability to perceive. So you can't tell the difference between things, right?
yep.
And then it's a gray area, and then it gets scary, right? So that seems reasonable.
You
So
know, I'll even like I'll like steer this a little bit here
yeah,
in a good direction for a lot of entrepreneur like religious men
yeah,
who are married specifically. Like my relationship with my wife, I thought that it was great, but it was because of the things that I were believing that were not true that I had put so much more attention into entrepreneurship and business and money, believing that I was doing it for my wife and for my family. And I thought that that was the thing I was supposed to do because of my religious upbringing and the things that I believed religiously.
I like
And
sacrifice,
yeah, and because
sacrificing
of
yourself.
everything
Yeah,
that the online gurus are talking about, and they say you're supposed to burn every bridge and you're supposed to cut everyone out and you're supposed to just be like this cold killer in the entrepreneur world. And what I've learned in this entire process is that I wasn't able to become who I am now without my wife, without my son, without my family, without my community, without the people that loved and supported me every single step of the way. And like there were just so many strict rules that I put in place for myself, and it made me miserable, and it was destroying my marriage, and I thought that I was doing all the right things. Just to find at the center of it that I wasn't even living based on my own principles and my own rules and my own thought processes. I
hmm
was literally using everyone else's. I wasn't thinking for myself. And that was like the big problem right there. I was listening to
yeah.
everyone else, you shoulds. And then
Mhm.
John taught me how to think for myself, and bang, all the other crap just fell away. And suddenly, like, I came back to life, and life started going really well again. And my marriage is on fire. My business is on fire. Like, life is amazing. And it wasn't until I learned how to take responsibility for who I am and for my own thinking and stop caring about what other people think and stop like just getting in my head all the time. That's a thing that we hear a lot this day and age in like
Mhm.
2025 and so on. It's like, "Oh, I'm just getting in my head right now." And it's like I had to learn to stop living in my head, and I had to
Yeah.
start living in the real world and get connected to the present moment. And again, John taught me all of how to do that.
Thank you.
You get all the credit, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I
I
wouldn't be here
appreciate
without
it.
it.
Because and that's the thing is, we are surrounded by people who you hear thought leader, you hear philosopher. Now, being a philosopher, like in the actual sense, ain't bad, but philosopher is basically, if you look at someone like I talk about this a lot. Is like Jordan Peterson. He's a lot of the things he says is dense, really hard to understand, and actually truth and being at a high mental state. The lower your mental state, the more complicated things get. The higher your mental state, the simpler things are. So if you're consuming something which is vastly complicated, you can guarantee that person does not have a good mental state. They are not able to communicate things simply. It actually takes a lot of mental ability to communicate something simply. And to go and I say philosophers are people who take a simple concept and make it complicated. They sit in their head all day, right? And then we listen to those people as role models, and we think that's what we should do. So we always think, oh, I need to go reflect. I need to go think. Like, that's your thing. Like, whenever you receive information, your immediate reaction is, wow, you've given me a lot to think about. Well, actually, no, you must have a misunderstanding. You must have gone over a misunderstanding because something must not be clear. Because if you feel you need to think about it, what are you looking for in your mind? There must be something you're looking for in your mind that you have not yet found in this conversation or in the data that you just received, which means that there's probably a misunderstanding. Why would you go right into your head after getting some data? So new data should pull you out of your head because you're like, oh, new realization about life. Oh, that's interesting. That's neat. And you aren't so much in your head anymore.
I've got a very specific example
I
here.
can't hear you. I don't know why.
Literally,
Well, like
testing.
it was just really quiet.
Am I back?
Oh, that's better. Yeah,
Okay,
that's really
cool.
good. Yeah.
I have a very specific example here of how I used to think personal development was supposed to look.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this was the big problem at the center of everything, was that I was getting keys that opened doors that just led to me needing to find more keys to open more doors, and I would keep on thinking, oh, this is it. Oh, this is it. Oh, this is it. And you know what? It wasn't it. It was never it. Because nothing actually changed in my life. Like, I thought that these epiphanies were spiritual realities and beautiful truths, and that I should just embody the energy frequencies of
Well, yeah, like
everything.
all the weird stuff that you were doing before.
Yeah, and the problem is, my world only got worse.
Mm-hmm.
If truth is truth, then it's supposed to make your life better. At least that's
It
what
will
I
set you
found for me.
free.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Yes, the truth will set me free. And the problem was, when I thought that these epiphanies were going to bring me freedom and bring me truth, they just made my life worse. So if I look at the results of the things that I was believing, I had literally put myself in this position where everything is failing, and it was my responsibility because of the people that I studied, the people that I listened
Mm-hmm.
to. I wasn't following actual objective truth. I was following this thing that we call intuition, and it was just gambling my way through life.
Yeah, if
And
your mental state's low, then your tuition is largely irrelevant most of the time.
you
Because
know,
yeah.
the thing that I found to be most consistent in this change of like how I think and act and operate is that instead of leaning on, oh, this is it, and it's another key that opens another door that leads to another key to another door, and it just leads nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead, what I found is real truth. It's a key that opens a door, and I see instant change. I feel the instant change, and my world gets instantly better. Or maybe there's a small time delay, but I can see and feel the change viscerally, and it's because I know that it is true. And
Mm-hmm.
I experience that truth. It's not a truth that just lives up in my head, like it exists in the rest of the world, and that's how I know that it's the truest truth. And those are the things that have been serving me throughout this entire journey. Um, it's that I stopped thinking that everything in my head is reality, and I came back to the real world.
Yeah. Take a look around you, right, and
Yeah.
see what there is.
Now there's no need to gamble. I can look at the facts. I can look at the data, and I don't need to
Mhm.
apply emotion. And I don't need to punish myself into taking action. I just take action because I decide to take action. And I don't need to feel a certain way, positive or negatively, about it in order to move. I move because I want to move.
Yeah.
And like I look around and I feel like everyone just waits. They wait to feel right. They wait to feel like it's the right moment. They wait um to feel good about their decisions. And I just started setting those things aside because I realized that it's not good data to operate off of when I make decisions. I should go off of
Mhm.
facts. I should go off of truth, regardless of how I feel about it. And what I found is the results that I got from operating out of truth, that's the thing that made me feel actually happy and actually fulfilled. Rather than trying to feel good at the beginning, now I can feel good in the consequences because they were all positive.
Yeah. Just you could just produce it. It's
Yeah.
pretty simple. Did you have to do any hypnosis to achieve any of this?
Not once.
Did you have to do any meditation?
Not once.
Any ice baths?
Nope, I haven't
Bre-
taken an ice bath in a
Breath
long
work?
time.
How about breath work? Any breath work?
Nope,
How about ayahuasca?
absolutely not.
Any other drugs?
No.
No, you didn't have to like change your entire uh supplement stack so that way your brain, because you know those people must be a piece of meat if they're a brain, right?
Yeah.
Um, so um, did you have to do any weird journaling or guided thought processes?
No.
How about did you ever hop on a call and go, I'm worthy in front of everybody and then have everybody clap? Did you ever do that?
Uh before working with you, yes. Since working with you, absolutely not. And
Yeah,
it's
okay.
gotten me more
Yeah, I was
results.
just wondering, you know?
Yeah.
Um, did you have to wear, I don't know, let's say loose linen clothing and then go to South America and sit in a circle where we all smoke a pipe and bang on drums? Do we have to do any of that?
No.
Yeah, right. That one time when I was asleep, I woke up. I was on an air mattress in the middle of the lake. That's where I was. Um, let's see what else. Did you have to learn more sales skills?
I'd say yes and no.
Yeah,
I'd say that
it's
it's
okay if
like,
so. Like if the answer is yes, that's fine.
yeah, it's like there was some things that I thought were supposed to be done in sales skills. Actually, here's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that objection handling is a necessary skill. Just to
Yeah.
find out that real objection handling has nothing to do with what anyone teaches these days.
Well, you're gonna have to fill me in on this one. What the fuck do you mean?
Like, everyone talks about objection handling after a price drop, but this was one of the biggest changes that made all of my calls go to um um just they hear the price drop and then they make their decision
Mm-hmm.
with very little, if any, objection. Usually it's just like one little clarification and that's it, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from having 100 billion objections to having 0 objections, and it was because of all the work that we did on the front end. Um, and so some people would say that that's where we're uprooting the objections, but I think the reality is that these are just the misunderstandings to clear up. This is the areas where I need to help them take responsibility. This is where I need to help them see logical thought processes. This is a piece for education. This is a
How
piece
about
for,
karma? Do
yeah,
you feel like any of the mental bullshit you were bringing to calls affected what they gave you as objections?
100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
how?
I had to I had to improve myself a lot more than I needed to work on the other person. I'd say that one specific example, like the things that I believe. I mentioned a couple earlier about like I'm expecting that they think that I'm a sleazy salesman
Hmm.
who's supposed to sell them, so I need to overcompensate by acting more like a friend rather than allowing myself to stand as the authority, unfazed by whatever they throw at me. And so like really once I realized, no, I can be both. I can be the authority and I can still be a friend to them. And it has nothing to do with being sleazy. Like the only thing about being sleazy, if you're just straight up being unethical and lying to people, but if you're not lying, then there's no sleaziness whatsoever. So I just
Yeah,
got tired of
or
getting
like
my head
hiding,
bumped.
because I had this on YouTube video I dropped recently. Like a hidden intention where you want to sell them, but you lie to their face and you just say, "No, I'm here to help you." But no, you're here to sell them. And then so then basically you've got to trick them into buying now because you lied to them about
Yeah,
what your intention was. Like, hey, why can't we all just buy? Why can't
yeah,
you hop on the call and then I say, "Hey, would you like to buy the thing?" Like whatever it might be. You've already watched a bunch of my stuff.
hmm
Why not? Why not? Would you like to? And then they're like, "Yeah." Why can't it work that way? It's because people are indirect. Um, they can't directly handle a person, so they have to go this way. And then because this doesn't work, then they also have to go this way and then this way and then this way and then this way. So instead of going straight to someone and saying, "Do you want to buy?" You have to go, "So I'm going to ask you some questions and then, maybe at the end, da da da." No, why isn't it just, what's your intention for the call? Usually people want to buy, they don't know how, and they have a bunch of preconceived notions that they have to give objections, right? And then you have your own mental bullshit. Not you, but like most people have their mental bullshit. They have fear, so they receive fear. They have guilt, so they receive people who don't feel worthy of making the purchase. They have doubt, so then the prospect feels doubt. And they can't handle it easily because they're bringing it to the call. So their doubt is triggering off the other person's doubt. Their fear is triggering off the other person's fear. So where it's really simply like, okay, don't bring your mental shit to calls. And then also check this out. Just ask them if they want to buy. Because most of the time they do. And then the very next thing that they're going to serve up is all their objections. And most people can't handle objections at the beginning of a call because they can't build a relationship quick enough. They have to take 30 minutes to build it instead of it being like immediate. So you can hop on a call and be like, "Do you want to buy?" "Yeah, but okay, finances, fear, this, that." Got it. Anything else? Cool, sweet. Any other objections you'd like to have? No, okay, I'm good. Right, and it's really simple. And just to be clear, I didn't teach Charles how to sell. Like he and I might have practiced some things. Now the program's turning into more of a sales training and mindset program because what you just said, all these misunderstandings around sales, and then also everything that everybody else is being taught, you can't have a conversation. We're doing the porcupine in the program, and nobody can hold a conversation. I'm
hmm
realizing, like they can't hold a normal conversation where the goal is to just get to know somebody, and they can't do it. Sales reps who have 3 years, 4 years of training, who have a wife and kids. I don't know. Maybe the wife just knocked on their door and asked if he wanted to marry her. Like these people have no sales skills because they can't communicate. So then they have to have robot skills, which is memorizing scripts and handlers. And then they go back in their mind and pull up the handler from the last time it worked. Oh, it worked. Somebody said something to this guy worked then. Let me use it now. Right? So they can't actually be in present time to handle problems. All their solutions are coming from the past. They can't actually produce a new solution in present time. So then they can't sell. And then but because the prospect's out of present time and the salesperson's out of present time, then that's how they make sales. Right? But if you actually bring the prospect to present time, they can make the decision logically every time. And then they feel really good and happy. And then there's no refund rate. I think I've had like 2 people ever like request to not be part of the program. So ever out of all the people that have sold into this,
I can
which
actually say the exact same thing here.
yeah.
I've and I went from having like a one sale per month close rate, like
Hmm.
it was horrible. It was less than 10%, to
That's
now I
pretty
can
bad.
float around like 50 to 70%, just depends on the month and how many calls there is. But like my close rate is just incredible. And
On
it's
shows?
yeah, on shows.
Okay.
Yeah, and over the course of this entire I think like a year and a half it's been now. I only just within the last month and a half had my first ever refund in this entire time.
Yeah.
Everyone else has always ended their sales calls with "Thank you so much. We are so excited to begin this journey." And that's it.
Yeah.
It's
They
a very
logically
good
see the
time.
value. Why wouldn't they thank you?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, okay, I'll get started. Fine.
Yep. Like
Well,
it's incredible. Everyone's excited. And I think that that's like one of the biggest sales mindset pieces that I needed to change for myself to help change the way that other people on my sales calls showed up as well. It
mm-hmm.
was that it's not supposed to be a fight, because if it's a fight to get them to say yes, then that's how they're going to show up in the program. So I just made my goal, they're here because they're already wanting to make the change. If I can help make sure that they're fully equipped mentally and fully ready, then there's no reason for them not to do it. And when I took that path instead, it became so logically impossible for them to say no. Everyone's just like, yeah, let's do it. Now
Yeah.
they enter the programs ready to succeed, and I'm excited to hear about the transformations that they're getting. And because I'm doing a tutoring offer, we're seeing tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars in these students' ROIs, because they put their investment down, but then out of this they're getting an entire debt-free degree. So regardless of what anyone thinks about the college system or things like that, um, if there's
I mean,
anything
it
that
saves
I
them like
can do with,
60 to 100 grand if it's a good
yeah,
school.
yeah, it's like if I were, because I'm not like a college guy personally, but like
Mm-hmm.
if I were to go to college, I would want to do it so I can get a marketable degree, and I don't want to have any student loans in the process. And that's the mission and vision of the company. And so I'm really able to help people get into that vision because it's logical, it makes sense, we can do it, we've done it, and I believe in it. And so everything that I do, it's like there's no need for any manipulation or word tracks or trickery. I
Right.
don't need to feel bad. I don't need to make anybody feel bad. I don't need to force anybody to do anything. It's that
Mm-hmm.
I've built so much logical belief that it's impossible for me to not sell this and feel good in the process. And I was again only able to do that because John showed me this is the way, and I trusted it and I followed it, and it produced the results that it said that John said this was going to produce. And like before working with you, John, I've spent over $250,000 over the last 3 or 4 years in coaching. And like I've given some good testimonials, but I'll be honest, like this has been life changing more than anything that I've ever been through. If everything that I did before working with you led up to my business collapse, and then working with you is the thing that like takes me off,
Mm-hmm.
dude, I mean, this is the one program that I think everybody needs if you're an entrepreneur and you're not where you want to be. This is it. Because I've done all the other investments. So I've done them all. I've done the sales investments, marketing investments, business investments, personal development, inner child healing. I've done everything. And so to be
Did
able
we
to
do
go
any
down the
inner
list of
child healing?
tried it all. Wait, what?
Did we do any inner child healing?
No, we didn't. We didn't
Okay.
do any of that.
Okay.
And yet somehow you got me more results than everybody else.
Oh,
You
fuck.
you got me the best results out of anyone else. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, so I'm happy.
Yeah. That
I'm more happy
sucks.
than I've ever been.
Well, that fucking
I should
sucks.
go create more
You've
problems.
ever been? You're like 60.
I know, right?
Yeah. How old are you?
I guess it's just downhill from here. I'm like
I know,
28.
right? Yeah. How old are you?
28.
So in 28 years, happiest you've ever. That's pretty cool. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
making the most money I've ever made, happier than I've ever been. My marriage is the best it's ever been, and I have the most amount of time that I've ever had in my life. In fact, I have so much time right now that I'm actually able to build my long-term wealth,
Yeah.
and I'm not building it from a place of compromise or cutting people out or putting up walls. or disciplining myself
Yeah,
into
like none of that shit
action.
makes sense. Like, why do you need to cut people out? Like, just help them improve too. Why not?
Yeah,
Like,
like everyone goes with this whole rule of like, if they're not who you want to be like, then don't be around them. But what I've actually found in this process, and this is the craziest thing ever, is that the better that I become, the better everyone I'm with becomes.
yes, yes,
That's the secret
yeah.
right there. Bring everyone with you. And that's what I found to be the most fulfilling thing ever. Because I always had this fear that I'm gonna die at the top all alone.
Hmm.
When what I really
I
wanted
remember that.
was everyone with me.
Yeah, I remember that too. I
Yeah.
think you were sitting outside a yacht
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
computer, and we were talking about level the field. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
got it, dude. Um, I- is there anything else you want to say? I don't really know what else
Yeah.
to
I mean,
ask.
thank you for literally changing the entire course of my life.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for giving me the ability, well, helping me see that I had all the abilities. Thank you for showing me how to use my abilities to be happy, to make more money, to love what I do in sales. Um, Thank you for everything. I mean, my life would not be this good. It would not be this sweet,
Hmm,
this delectable of a
hmm,
reality. And the best part is it's actual objective reality that I'm living in. I've learned to
mhm.
separate my emotions from reality, and that was where I found the gold. It's that I don't have to deny or cut out my emotions. I don't have to be heartless. It's that I can choose joy regardless of what the facts are.
Yeah.
And the facts don't have to define my emotional state. Like I don't have to bend emotionally to
Mhm.
whatever facts are. I don't have to look at things as negative. My life isn't falling apart. The world isn't falling apart. It never was. That's the funny thing, is that the work that we've done together, literally, it's helped me overcome every single thing that I thought was a trauma, because I realized for myself, nobody persecute me. This is for myself. I found that I was the one responsible for all of the things that I was blaming other people for. And when I decided to take that responsibility back, I took my power back. And that was where I found who I am. And I can thank John for that. He's the reason that I'm able to be here today, spending an entire month right now, a month plus, away from my home. I was able to move out of my parents' house, take my family. We moved out. We got our own place, and so now we're actually back spending time with family. And I don't have to feel bad about not working. In fact, I've just been kind of doing whatever. I've just been like derping around because I
Mhm.
have the ability, I have the time, I have abundance for the first time in my life, and I'm eternally grateful to John
For
for
the
everything.
first time?
Yeah, well, forever, but like in my realization of what I've always
Yeah, yeah,
had that
yeah.
I didn't know that I had access to.
Yeah, because
So yeah,
it's there, and nobody's keeping you from being abundant, man.
you know, yeah, like I guess I could keep going on, but like you really did show me that it's been right in front of me the whole time, and it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
until I removed all of those
Take off the
facts
glasses.
that I'm like, oh, life is good. Oh,
Yeah.
life is easy. Oh, life is fun. Oh, life is not supposed to be suffering. And yeah, I mean, people overcomplicate things, and I
It's
I
what
I
they
used
really
to
do.
overcomplicate things. And then when you showed me how simple life is, I'm like, that's the truth, and that's what I want to follow.
Life is simple. Yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah, life
I
is
stand
good.
up to that. So I don't know. I just keep thinking about all the people who have to get hypnotized because
Yeah,
they aren't willing to confront any demons. They aren't willing to handle life. They have to be put into some kind of sleep state more. So basically, a thicker mask
yeah.
designed by someone else.
I mean, I'd say that that's a total. It's a cowardly way of not confronting the truth. Like that for me was because like I hadn't done hypnotism, but I had done things like hypnotism, like a lot of visualization and inner child healing and breath work and stuff.
Visualization isn't bad. There's nothing bad with that. Like,
Yeah, but like it was things like that where I was totally avoiding changing, like being
yeah,
responsible.
you're in loosey goosey airy fairyland instead of like, holy shit,
Yes.
my life's burning down. Let me go meditate. No, let's go handle life.
Yeah.
That would be the logical thing to do. And then let's handle the blocks that keep you from handling life.
Yeah.
Let's not try and escape it, because that's like the same thing as doing drugs. Let me go visualize I'm somewhere better. No, that's like you can't handle some. That's what they teach in psychology. They teach you how to cope, right? That's why psychology is kind of useless. You
Yeah.
just
Like
sit
I
and
don't
talk about
need
your problems all day,
to
get
cope.
deeper in your head, and then they say, here's some ways to cope. And then here's some drugs, or I don't know, take a walk. I tell you to take a walk. That's a very good
Mhm.
thing to do. But or like journal, which then now you're just thinking about all your thoughts, and now you're trying to find more thoughts to think about, which will put you deeper in your head. So there's like all these things, and it's just like, no, man, let's just remove the blocks that keep you from handling life. Then let's handle life. Let's actually do the thing, right? Instead of continuously preparing to do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Like you're putting on the armor, and then you put on the armor, and then you keep putting on the armor, and then you got to put on the armor, and then you got to drink the thing, and if you're the Witcher, eyes turn black, but you got to keep putting on the armor, right? And then maybe one day you'll put on the armor, and then soon enough you'll put on the armor, and
yeah. I mean that was literally how life was.
yeah,
It was always the thing that I want is just out of reach. And you showed me like, oh, I was never separate from it. Like I really do have
you could
it.
just take the tiny step forward and grab it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally just reach out and get it.
Hmm.
And I do think that that's like one of the coolest things that we walked through was realizing like there is nothing that I can't have other than what I say I can't have. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that there's so many different things that we touched on, like self worth. Like I'd say that's a pretty big one. My self image. Um, Dude, there were so many little things, but the more that we combed through it, I was like, okay, there's less work to do. There's less problems to solve. This is here's a great place for people to know that if you're doing the right things, especially working with John, there will be less things to do as you get better. And that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
what I found for me was that I had less. I had less to deal with.
Hmm.
And I didn't need to do a billion little things a day. I didn't need to keep up a 10-hour morning ritual just to prepare for the day. Like
Yeah.
I get up and I was able to work for 12 to 14 to 16 hours. This was my choice, by the way, but I was only able to do those things because of what John taught me, and nothing would get in the way. Nothing would distract me. And like I took it overboard, but that was also a personal choice because I knew that for me in my position, that was what I needed to do. But like I've also seen that like the results that I've gotten from really giving it my all, like that's the thing that really I think made the difference in so fast of a time was that I didn't hold back. I didn't wait for John to um tell me what to do. I came to John with every single problem.
Hmm.
I took responsibility to speak up on the calls when I have a problem. I showed up every single time ready to talk through everything, and like I would keep John on extra long until I just reached a point where I'm like, I don't have anything else to talk about now because John just kept solving all my problems for me. Um, or showing me that the things that I was worrying about
No
weren't actually
problems. There was
worried
no
about.
problems.
Yeah. So little by little, I went from a massive mountain of problems to having little to no, and then eventually like, oh, it's just life. Uh, and like I think that like it's one of the most beautiful things ever that like I say what I do what I say, I'm aligned, and like I think it's a very beautiful place to be because there's no unnecessary complexity. Like I don't have to overcomplicate things. I can just live and exist, and it's beautiful. Um, and like yeah, this is my life now. This is awesome. So I think that that's what everyone should be trying to get to, but that everyone wants because this is what I believe the entrepreneur industry has been teaching at least from like what I've observed, it's that there's always going to be more problems. There's always going to be more complexity to work through. And sure, you could get this, but here's the problem. And there's always more problems. And I mean
Yeah,
that.
that's how you sell stuff. Is you have to keep, because like the thing is if everybody decided they didn't have problems, they wouldn't have any, and then nobody could sell them any products.
Ooh, yeah,
So you have to be. Some people do have problems because they're so fucked up that that's all they see, right? But whenever you have a higher state, you realize there's no problems and it's no big deal. Who
yeah,
cares, man? How much money were you making when we started?
dude. I was making, I don't know, like 3 to 5. Well, okay, here's the thing. I was making 3 to 5 thousand. Then the business collapsed. Now I was barely making anything. Maybe like a
When was that?
thousand, maybe 2,000. But I was also, instead of doing it from like high ticket, I was having to like brute force my way through like physical labor or like Uber and Lyft. So like I was
But
working,
I'm just looking for the number. When we started working together, how much were you making?
I don't know, maybe like 3,000 a month or something like that.
I thought it was 300 a month.
In the sales, the high ticket sales that I was making, my commission
Oh, okay, cool. So if we separated out, how much were you making from other things, and how much were you making from sales?
from everything else I was making like maybe 2 to 3 thousand. Like, look, it was so minimal, so minimal. I was
No,
not like
no, I got it. I got it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so we got 2 to 3 thousand,
And then in the
and then
high
how much
tickets,
was it?
like
So
it was like
300 bucks.
300 a month. Like
Okay,
it
cool.
was
So that's what I'm asking, because
yeah,
obviously I'm not here to help you make money in Lyft. So it's kind of irrelevant, and you don't want to be doing that, right? That
yeah.
wasn't something you wanted to be doing. So then you went from 300 a month to, what was your most recent month in November?
I think it was like 8 or 9K.
Previous month?
Month before that, 12.
Previous, yeah, okay, so 12. Oh, wait,
Month
we
before
can,
that, 10.
yeah, but it probably went down because you're hanging out with the family now, right?
No.
No, like the 9. It went from 12 to 9.
Oh, no. I mean, I just got here a little bit ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well, that's not bad.
yeah,
So 9 to 12 grand a month.
yeah,
So that's what, 30 to 40x.
yep,
Yeah. So
yep,
that's the cool sounding version, right?
yeah,
Um, but that's also an increase of like $11,000 a month. So,
yes.
and then I don't know. Is there anything I haven't asked that you'd like to answer?
Um, I think like really the only other thing is that like if you go into anything, any sort of coaching, like holding back and believing that it's not going to work, or showing up all timid and shy, or maybe you're showing up on the opposite spectrum, like with a ton of ego and you think you already know everything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just say like leave that crap at the door, especially when it comes to John, because like he's there to serve you. He's there to help you fix your life, fix your mind, and naturally your income will go up. Your life will get better. If you're married, your relationship with your wife or husband will get better. Everything in your life will get dramatically better because of the work that you will do with John, and I am living proof that that's the case. So I'm saying that when I started working with John, I left all my preconceived notions of what it's supposed to look like at the door, and I decided I'm going to make it work. And I believe that if you decide to work with John, that you should absolutely do that. Do everything you can to make it work, because it works. And it works so good that you're going to wish you had have made it work even harder the first time. So if there's anything that I could go back and do, it's that I would have done even more work. Like, seriously, I would have put even more work into the tools. I would have asked even more questions, because if I had have known that it was gonna be this good, like I would have like just spent every single second bugging you that I possibly could have. So yeah, everyone should work with John. Life is good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So then how can people find you if they want to get a hold of you? Where can I contact you?
My Facebook is a great place. So you can find me at, here's the name here. If I don't know if anyone can see it, Charles Meyer.
Other
Charles,
side.
other side.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
There you
right there.
go. Charles,
But I don't know if it's going to show that in the recording. But look him up. CharlesMeyer. Charles Meyer. Two very simple names. If you cannot spell them correctly, you may not speak English as your first language. So, other than that, is there anything else that you'd like to say or ask or put in before we wrap up today?
Just work with John.
Thank you. I got it. I appreciate it, man. Well, I'm proud of you because you did all the work, and you kept showing up. Most people, when it's going rough, they hide.
Yeah.
And you did the opposite, which is the only thing I can really ask for. If it's going rough, don't hide.
Yeah.
That's it. So anybody, and if you think it's going good, but it's not, then that's the ego, right? So then you should also, basically the two things you said to drop, if you're experiencing those, you should probably reach out. If all your stats are going up in every single area of your life, I'm not too sure, unless you want to set bigger goals and play bigger games. I'm not too sure what else I can do for you. So if your life's perfect, don't talk to me. But if it's not, probably talk to me. But other than that, I don't know, dude. I think that's pretty much it. So I got to go eat and pretend to work for the rest of the day. So
nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to end the recording here. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me on Facebook, John Schuette, JOHNSCHUETTE. Other than that, adios.